Let's talk weather. Let's revisit the wind all day yesterday. Really blustering. You probably heard it late into last night too. Rob, you said you gave us the timeline. Your timeline was right. Are we done with it?
We are done with the strong, damaging wind. It is still a little breezy this morning, which will play with the temperatures and how you feel and how you should dress this morning. But stuff like this is not coming back until maybe this weekend. That's when the winds are going to ramp up again. So I'll show you that in a second. This is in Natomas, a big tree limb down and damage caused to a balcony in, again, the Natomas area. And maybe in your neighborhood, things like this happen as well. It just wasn't as extensive as the last big wind event that we went through, which was major. But there were some problems for sure. So go ahead, download the ABC 10 app, and then you can upload photos like that right there in the weather section. So how strong were the winds? Well, in some places, they were really strong. Yuba City, 64-mile-per-hour wind. That's definitely enough to take down entire trees if it hits it in the right way. We've got Travis Air Force Base, 52 miles per hour. Rockland, about 41 miles per hour. So almost everybody saw some strong wind gusts, some places really strong. Now, left over with this wind, it's going to play with the temperatures because on your raw thermometer, you're going to see some 40s down low, maybe some 30s, some single digits and teens. For the foothills, roughly, we're somewhere in the mid-40s. But when you throw in the wind, and it doesn't take much, we're talking 5 to 10 miles per hour, you start ramping up to 15, and what it does is it makes you feel colder. The air, the warm air that you create with your body gets whisked away by wind, and it adds a chill to the air if you're not dressed for it. So it feels like it's in the 30s rather than the 40s because of just that slight breeze that we have left over from yesterday. Later on today, we don't have it, and the lack of wind is going to make you feel warmer, even though the temperatures are going to be almost exactly the same as yesterday. Wind has a huge impact in how you feel hour by hour and certainly day to day. Here's the wind coming back on Saturday, starting off 15 miles per hour in the morning, then maybe up to 30. So not quite as strong as what we just went through. But again, just take stock of what you're doing. Maybe 30 miles per hour is too much for what you have planned on Saturday, or maybe it's going to be fine. Here's the clear skies for all valley locations. Great shot of the Capitol there with the sun rising. And we're going to see the wind very quickly start to back off. By noon, I think it's basically a non-factor. Then we're off and running into a dry but sunny day in the 60s. So is the rain ever going to come back? Yes, I think that it will. Saturday, we get grazed with clouds, and that's about it. On Monday, notice that we have some snow chances in the mountains. That's great, but it doesn't necessarily translate into valley rain because this is a high base system that's barely coming together. So we're hopeful for something on Monday, but better chances for a traditional storm coming in end of next week with valley rain and Sierra snow, and maybe that pattern sticks around. So that's the big hope, is that by the end of the 10 days here, we start to look at a cooler, wet pattern coming back. Brittany?